I want to share three things today that took me years to understand about emotional patterns, not framework, not theories, specific truth that change how you see everything, your decisions, your relationships, your business, your results, your body. Most people do inner work, never encounter these three things clearly. And that gap between doing the work and understanding these three specifics is why the work stalls. By the end of this video, you'll see your pattern differently than you did at the beginning. That is the only promise I'm making today. I'll give you secret number one. The pattern is not the problem, the pattern is the solution. This is the one that stops most people cold when they first hear it. Every emotional loop you are running, the achiever who cannot rest, the fixer who cannot say no, the performer who cannot show weakness, was not formed as a malfunction. It was formed as a most intelligent response available to a child in a specific environment with specific resources. It is your survival instinct making you adapt to that particular loop. Now, that achiever loop, let's say, formed because it is in a specific household at a specific age where achievement was the only thing that could produce safety, love, attention, security. All of it was tied to an output. Now, the child system looked at the environment and produced the most logical response. Produce. Always stop for nothing because stopping is dangerous. You will only get love or a satisfaction or presence when you achieve. So you went on that path. That was not a mistake, that was brilliant adaptive intelligence. That is who we are and how our survival instinct react to be come out with solution to either freeze, flight or fight. And this is one of the pathways which we created. The problem is not that the pattern formed, the problem is that it is still running the same program in a completely different environment. You are a 32-year-old now, the environment changed, the program did not. Get the update. When you stop seeing your pattern as a flaw and start seeing it as an outdated solution, the relationship to it changes entirely. You stop fighting it, you stop judging it, because if you are judging it you will try to repel it more, it will come after you more. That is not what we are looking for, and that is not what we do in Reset Entropy as well. We are creating a safe space. It is very important to acknowledge your own emotions, your own feelings, that why that happened, to what it happened, and why you felt the way you felt, and what was the hidden loop behind it. There's no judgment going on, there's acknowledgement going on. So when you start understanding what it was solving, and that understanding is the first real opening to updating it. Because if you're fighting it, you are just fighting it for rest of your life. Secret number 2 is the pattern protects the wound, not the person. Secret 2 is the pattern is protecting you. It is not protecting you. It is actually protecting the wound you have. Now, this is the distinction most people miss completely. When your loop fires, when the fixer says yes again, when the imposter underprices again, when the performer maintains the image again, it feels like self protection, like the pattern is keeping you safe. But look more carefully at what it is actually protecting. The fixer loop is not protecting you, it is protecting the wound that says if you stop being useful, I will be stopped being loved. The outcome won't be there anymore. The pattern runs every time something threatens that wound, every request for help that goes unmet, every moment where someone else is the solution. The pattern fires to protect the belief, not to protect you. The imposter loop is not protecting you, it is protecting the wound that says if they see the real level of my uncertainty, they will withdraw their respect. The pattern fires every time visibility threatens to expose that wound. Every pitch, every public movement, every piece of content where you might be seen and found inadequate. The performer loop is not protecting you. It is protecting the wound that say the real version of me is not enough to be loved. The pattern maintains that image because that image is the only thing standing between the wound and the world. And when you see all of this clearly, when you can look at a reaction and ask not what is protecting me from, but what wound is this protecting, that work becomes precise. You are no longer trying to manage a behavior, and you are working on the actual source itself. And the amount of energy you save up by doing this and getting the acknowledgement and then operating from true identity, you can't believe that. Once you have that energy in hand after the alignment, you'll understand how much of the energy you are losing in the framework of loops. And secret number 3 is the clearing does not happen in your mind, it happens in your body. This is why most personal development does not produce lasting change. It works at a level of understanding which is valuable, definitely, which is necessary, which is the map, but it never goes to a territory. The territory is your body, your nervous system, the stored incomplete emotional experience shifting in your tissues at the moment, in your gut, in your chest, in your jaw, in your shoulder. You can understand your pattern completely, know exactly where it came from, be able to explain it clearly to another person as well, and still follow it automatically the next time the trigger arrives. Because understanding lives in the prefrontal cortex area. You're just understanding it's over here, it's this part of your brain. The pattern lives in amygdala and the body itself, and these two systems do not automatically synchronize just because you had any insight. Whenever something happens, your body would react immediately, and if it's coming from an emotional charge, especially, your prefrontal cortex is already fogged. There is no logical thinking happening at all. It happens after everything is done. The clearing happens when you go where the charge actually lives. When you feel the original emotion, not think about it, feel it all the way through. When you let the body complete what was interrupted years ago. That completion is physical. It is often quiet. Sometimes it is simply sitting with a feeling long enough that something releases. And that is one of the things where we call sitting with themselves. That is one of the part of meditation as well. The tightening lets go automatically. To call it jaw, the shoulder, the chest, the breath. The breath automatically deepens as well without effort. Normally, it feels like choked and clogged to even take a longer breath because so much emotion built up inside. The change that was stored incomplete finally moves through. And after that completion, the intellectual understanding becomes genuinely useful because now it is landing in a body that is no longer holding the charge. And the re-choosing the conscious decision about what is actually true has space to stick. Three secrets. The pattern was a solution. It is protecting a wound, not you. And the clearing happens in the body. These three things together change everything about how you approach the work. If this landed, if something shifted in how you see your own pattern, there is a free video at the link in the bio that goes deeper into this. It covers how I work with entrepreneurs specifically, the path I took, the three things that change everything, and what the pathway forward looks like. Watch it and see if Reset Entropy is for you. Subscribe The next video will be with one of the guest founder who lived all three of these secret out loud in the middle of building something real. That episode is also coming next. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe for more.